Hello everyone, it's Airflow, and today we are talking planner mistakes. So I'm sharing things that I have done in the past with my planner, with my bullet journal, that have totally not worked, mistakes I have made, so that way maybe you don't have to. I know that there are a lot of folks that are new to the bullet journal community, the planner community, that have just started this whole process because it is the start of a new year. And so I'm pretty sure that some of you are really jumping headfirst into this and may not know what will work for you. So I'm going to share some things that haven't worked for me in the past, and hopefully that helps you when it comes to your bullet journal, your planner system, and making it work for you. The first mistake is, I think, one that I have said over and over again on this channel, is doing too much too quick. So either you add 50,000 trackers, or you're tracking 50,000 things, or you are going so artsy that you don't know what works for you. So one of the things that I really highly suggest is doing less than you think you want to do, and then amping it up from there. People go too ham, too fast, and then they get burnt out really quickly because they're like, oh, this is an all-in approach. And sometimes that kind of system doesn't really work out for you, and you'll go way too quickly. And hi, Malia. So overall, my suggestion is to start with a less is more approach, and then kind of ramp up from there once you figure out kind of your style, what you're able to do, time commitments that you're able to make, and really what is needed for you in your planner system. The next one is a big one, at least it was for me, is mimicking others people's spreads, styles, whatever, instead of trying to find your own identity in your bullet journal, in your planner. So I'm not saying that you can't take inspiration from others or that you can't get spread ideas from other people, but when you start to mimic the style of someone else, there's a lot of things that go into that. And one of the things is kind of like this imposter syndrome type of feeling, especially if you are sharing your stuff on the internet. I think that a lot of people, myself included, when I first started, followed certain types of creators and really went all in that style, even though that's not a style that's true to me at all. You'll never see that kind of style come back in my bullet journaling. And it's just because there were several large creators at the time, and that's what I felt like I needed to do to get views. And then I really found myself and what I needed in my bullet journal. And that is when I think my bullet journal account started taking off even more, is because I'm being true to myself instead of copying a bunch of other people and their styles and what they need and the spreads that they like. I made my own, and I really figured out my own lane from there. The next one is using a spread over and over and over again, even though it's not working for you. And that may be because it's a spread that feels necessary. It's a spread that you, generally speaking, may need, but you don't need it in a certain way. For example, I really like a workout log. I have tried up teen amount of workout logs in my life, and I finally settled on one recently that has been working for me in this present time. And there are some times that I have absolutely hated the workout logs that I've done, and I kept trying to do the same thing over and over again, and it just didn't end up working. I kept it for too long. I kept trying to do it, and it just made me feel really disheartened about my bullet journal because it is a spread that was incomplete at the end of the month because it didn't really work out for me. And I will also say that present me versus past me was very much, I'm not as much of a completionist as I used to be in my bullet journal. There are times that I just leave a spread and I don't make any notes. I don't do anything. And I just, I think November's habit tracker was only half filled out, and I'm okay with it. Sometimes I go back in and fill it out if the information is readily available, but sometimes I just let it go and I don't mark anything in. But I know that the habit tracker system typically does work for me, so I will try it again. But there's times that I tried something and it didn't work. I kept it going way too long, and I tried it over and over again, especially in the beginning of my bullet journaling journey. And it made me disheartened because I was very much a perfectionist back then, and less so now. So if you are a perfectionist, one of my suggestions is to probably stop trying a spread. If after a month or two it's not working, just give it up and then try it again at some other point, because if you're a perfectionist, it's probably going to make you disheartened, as it did with me. The next one is a bit of a piggyback off of that concept, and it's changing something too early. So if you find a spread that really, really works for you, but you're like, oh, well, I need to show off to Instagram, or I've just been doing this over and over and over again, like a monthly calendar or your habit trackers or something like that. If you're like, oh, I've been doing the same thing over and over again, like maybe I should switch it up, but it's been working really well for you and you've been able to complete the spreads, you find them helpful in your everyday life, in your everyday planning, don't change from it too early, whether that be because you want the internet to see something different from you, or because you want to see something different from you, or you're getting a little bored. Don't change that too early, because changing one little thing in your planner system can really, really throw you off. And one of the things that has happened to me in the past is it really threw me into a planner rut. And you really have to play that fine line of like, oh, I'm getting a little bored, but it's working for me. You have to play that line a little carefully, because getting yourself into a planner rut is really, really difficult. Trying to get yourself out of it, get your head above water as it is. And I have a bunch of videos from back in the day when I have been in multiple planner ruts in the past, and why I was in a planner rut and how I really tried to combat that and how I tried to work on that. And one of the things that did end up happening is changing so much so quickly, even though I figured out what kind of worked for me at that period of time. Now, that's not to say that life doesn't change and you will need changes to your bullet journaling system. That is one of the things that I love about bullet journaling, is how versatile it is. But at some point, you need to stick with what is working and then really, like I said, ride that fine line between, oh, I'm bored, or, oh, I really need to change something up. The next mistake I've made is picking a theme that I didn't have time for. So maybe it's a theme that is really requiring a lot of art that I didn't have a bullet journal sticker kit for, or whatever, that like I really wanted to do really well, or it's one of the themes that I saved because I really wanted it to be super artsy, but I didn't have time for it. There's a lot of points in time in my life that like I have way more time to be artsy in my bullet journal versus, sometimes where it is just chaotic. I remember August of last year, I was really excited because I loved that theme and I really wanted that theme to be in August because it was my birthday month. But because it was my birthday month, we were so busy that month. And so I really didn't feel like I did that theme justice. I didn't have fun with it. I really went heavy on the sticker kit and I didn't get to do a lot of artistic styles, even though I really love that theme and I really wish I would have been able to do it justice. This next one is for the content creators, people that share their bullet journals, planners with the community at large on social media or whatever. Don't feel pressured to be artsy just because everyone else is being artsy. That is something very, very early on in my journey. I felt so much pressure to be a better artist, to only do art in my bullet journal. And it's one of the things that I look back on and I'm like, I love incorporating art into my bullet journal. But there are times that I was like, okay, well, I'm not the best artist in the world, especially back then. Like, my style has changed a lot since then, and I didn't really have my own style of art back then, but I felt really pressured to be super artsy because that's where the community was, and I didn't think that I would gain any followers, gain any traction if I weren't pushing the boundaries of the type of art that I was doing in my bullet journal. So I guess the lesson from this is, don't let other people influence you on how you use your own bullet journal. that is really important and true to who you are. And if you don't want to make these huge, elaborate, artsy spreads, you don't have to. And I wish I would have taken that more to heart way back when. And the last one is actually on the flip side of that, is feeling pressured by the bullet journaling community to have a real bullet journal, i.e. from the Ryder Carroll method, the Back to Basics bullet journal, because there are so many people that do not consider any art in your bullet journal, any habit trackers, any whatever in your bullet journal, actual bullet journaling. And that drives me crazy. I really wish that there were another term for bullet journaling so that way we can break away from that book and that method, and people that will say, oh, well, that's not a real bullet journal. That's a decorate with me. Which I disagree that some people do just do decorate with me's and do not actually utilize their bullet journal in a bullet journal planner capacity? Absolutely. Absolutely. But the Back to Basics crowd can be very loud, just like the super artsy people can be very, very loud on pressuring when they claim that your bullet journal isn't a bullet journal. And that drives me crazy. And I guess what I will say for this is this type of mistake: don't let anyone tell you what your bullet journal can and cannot be. Don't let anyone tell you what your planner can and cannot be. Just do you, do the spreads that are important to you, do the styles that are important to you, do whatever is necessary for you to utilize your bullet journal in an effective way, and just F the haters, to be honest with you. If anyone tells you your bullet journal isn't a bullet journal, just, whatever. People are going to say whatever people say. And at the end of the day, all you can do is utilize your bullet journal in a way that's effective for you and that helps you out in your life. And if you don't have a future log in your bullet journal, even though that is extremely important to the Ryder Carroll bullet journal method, it's fine. You're fine. Not having a future log is fine. Not having a monthly log exactly the way Ryder Carroll spells out his monthly log is absolutely fine. You have a planner system that works for you. So those are a bunch of mistakes that I have made in my bullet journal and my planner systems. And I hope that this video can help you when it comes to utilizing your planner system and not going too ham too fast or feeling pressure from others, or really not focusing on the purpose of your planner or bullet journal, and that is to make your day-to-day life easier. So I hope that this video helps you when it comes to your bullet journal or planner, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.